Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Great to have you here. The selection of Washington, D.C. as the capital of the United States was a decision shaped by political compromise, geographic considerations, and historical context. The location was finalized in 1790 through the Residence Act and reflects the nation's early struggles to balance regional interests, foster unity, and establish a neutral seat of government. Historical context. After the United States gained independence from Britain in 1783, the need for a permanent national capital became evident. During the Revolutionary War, Congress met in various cities, including Philadelphia, New York, and Baltimore. However, none of these locations were deemed permanent due to political rivalries and geographic constraints. The lack of a fixed capital came to a head in 1783 during the Pennsylvania Mutiny. Disgruntled Revolutionary War soldiers marched on Philadelphia demanding unpaid wages. Congress, unable to rely on local authorities for protection, fled to Princeton, New Jersey. This incident underscored the need for a federal district under direct government control. The Residence Act and the Compromise of 1790. The selection of the capital's location was heavily influenced by regional tensions between the northern and southern states. At the time, economic and political power was concentrated in the north, particularly in cities like Philadelphia and New York. Meanwhile, southern states, with their agrarian economies and reliance on slavery, feared domination by the more industrialized north. The issue of the capital's location became entwined with another contentious debate: the assumption of state debts by the federal government. Secretary of the Treasury Alexander Hamilton proposed that the federal government assume the war debts of the states to establish national credit and economic stability. Southern states, which had already repaid much of their debt, opposed this plan, seeing it as a benefit to the northern states. A compromise was brokered by Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison. In what became known as the dinner table bargain, the southern states agreed to support Hamilton's financial plan in exchange for the capital being located in a southern-friendly location along the Potomac River. This compromise was formalized in the Residence Act of 1790, which authorized the establishment of a federal district not exceeding 10 square miles. Geographic and strategic considerations. The Potomac River location was chosen for several reasons. First, it was geographically central to the 13 original states, bridging the North and the South. This centrality was seen as essential for fostering national unity. Second, the area was relatively undeveloped, allowing the federal government to design and construct a city from scratch, free from local political influences. George Washington, who was instrumental in the decision, had a personal connection to the Potomac region, as his home, Mount Vernon, was nearby. Although Washington had no formal role in selecting the site, his influence and support for the location were significant. The development of Washington, D.C. The Residence Act gave President Washington the authority to select the exact location of the capital. He chose a site that included portions of Maryland and Virginia. French engineer Pierre L'Enfant was commissioned to design the city, envisioning grand boulevards, public spaces, and monumental buildings. However, L'Enfant's ambitious plans led to disputes, and he was eventually replaced. Construction began in the 1790s, but progress was slow due to funding shortages and logistical challenges. In 1800, the federal government officially moved to Washington, D.C., even though the city was still largely underdeveloped. A symbol of national unity, Washington, D.C. was deliberately established as a neutral territory, separate from any state, to prevent any single state from wielding undue influence over the federal government. Its design and location were meant to symbolize the unity and ideals of the new nation, serving as a permanent home for Congress, the President, and the judiciary. In conclusion, the selection of Washington, D.C. as the U.S. capital was a carefully negotiated decision that balanced regional interests, addressed historical challenges, and embodied the vision of a unified republic. Its creation marked a critical step in the establishment of the federal government and the identity of the United States. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.